Hello guys, Vengeancer here. I'm back down in Hystria. Let me collect myself. So I wanted to do a bunch of different things, but video kind of dictates what we do at this point because they're running 100% drop. So I'm gonna have to run an hour. And no, we don't want to do that. We want to get out of there. We'll run a gold scroll, why not? And 11, 7, we gotta run this. We're gonna run the simple cron for the people that asked. What's our drop rate at? 288. That's good enough. Pets are full. Let's see if we can get a compass piece. Maybe we'll do it, right? So I'm kind of to the point. I don't like showing a bunch of grinding videos. I know that it's been bounced back and forth between me grinding and me doing enhancing, but this is what I gotta do. Oh, forgot to put the insignia on. There we go. But I got a lot of stuff to talk about, so you can enjoy the grinding in the background while I talk. If I can do two things at once. So that last video, massive amounts of enhancing. That was a lot of silver dropped. Just the amount of tets that I blew through. You know, I had 5 tets overall that whole video that we made. That was like, if I would have sold those, that was like, what, 50, 60 billion, somewhere around there. By the time we paid all of the Black Desert marketplace tax, but I just can't bring myself to sell them and buy the pen. I really want the Vengeancer name on the pen. So I just keep attempting it. I don't know. I just really don't know. One of these days it'll go. But after shooting that video, I kind of went into what I call the video depression. Like, I didn't want to play anymore. It is frustrating. But at the same time, we were so close. I don't want to give up yet. But after that, like this week, I have wanted to play BDO more than I have in the past. Like, I don't know, I broke through the BDO depression and then ended up wanting to play even more, but I don't really want to be down here grinding. I'm kind of forced to be just because of the event that's going on, and I've got other items that need to be used up for drop rate, so it's one of those deals where I'm kind of forced to. But I want to start running activities that push me towards the tier 10 horse materials. Let's lower this voice volume. There we go. And I don't have to turn on Marnie Wave because I actually don't mind the ambient sounds down here in Hystria. Oh, Ancient Power Red Shard already. That's good. And I'm grinding a little slow today. My wrist is bothering me, so I'm just kind of chill grind. I'm not trying to sweat grind by any means. But still want to get some grinding in, just because of the items that I have that are expiring, and because of the drop event. And I need more Kafirs, I need more scrolls. The scrolls written in ancient language are at an all-time high right now. They've kind of peaked. They're kind of falling a little bit, but I'm not buying any more scrolls right now. So we're going to wait until they come back down, and they'll come back down. Now the other things that I need to touch on, I have ran. I think I got too many monsters aggroed again. I have ran all the seasons that I can run right now, and finished those off in my time away. I did get the second Floramos accessory, and I was gonna tap the tri necklace that I had and try and get Tet, but I decided against that, and let me tell you why. I'm going to sell the tri and get my silver back out of it, because if I do that, that's about 4 billion silver, give or take, and I can take that silver and spend it on lightstones. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to make a gathering drop set. I have both artifacts for gathering drop. A mount. Hey, cool. A tower. And of course you staggered me. Finish what I'm doing here. Okay, so there's a little trick here. Whenever these monsters spawn, you do Black Spirit. They all flock to them. I think I've mentioned that before, but just in case I haven't. But it kind of groups them all up. And that guy is glitched. He's not taking damage. Come on. Come out of the floor. There we go. There's another one on the floor right here too. Give me the Elton piece. That'd be nice. Alright. Moving on. But I have the artifacts for the gathering item drop amount, or whatever that's called. I think I said that correctly. So that means that I can get like a huge amount more on whenever I gather, and that's important because I have a couple of things that I want to do for gathering. I have to get a ton of red meat. I usually do wolf meat because it's just an easy rotation over at near Western Guard Camp. And I could probably get more meat per energy if I hunted, but I don't like hunting. Let's be honest, it's boring. And besides, there's no way I'm competing with people on the hunting levels. The guy that powers me in the guild, he finally finished his journey. He's at Guru 50 hunting, so congrats to him if he's watching. Pretty funny. I don't know how he stood that grind. It's a crazy long grind, but very, very long grind. Let me clear these out so I can open my inventory. I want to look at a couple of things. I will say that I noticed the wizard changes since I was last down here. Alright, so I finished Bit of Undying. I got Pen Insignia, that's plus 30%. Here are the artifacts I'm talking about. Gathering item drop rate. I got 2 of those, that's 2%, and then when you combine the right ones, you get like 10% on top of that. So that's about 14% more on gathering item drop rate. So that'll help me with meat gathering and herb gathering. And the reason herb gathering is important is because you need a ton of everlasting herbs for the mythical sensors that you need for tier 10 horse attempts, which I want to push for. I want a tier 10. I haven't been farming the dailies, but I do have 20 feathers, so I should be able to make a couple mythical sensors, so that's a couple of attempts. There's another thing that I also want to deal with and touch on is fairies. If I could get in the right position to actually take care of this tower. Drop me a compass piece, please. Thank you. That would be nice. Nope. Never mind. Anyway, fairies. Here's what my fairy has currently on the screen. Miraculous Cheer 3. I hate to give up Feathery Steps 5, but I have a plan for this. Big plan. I think what I need to do is I need to gather up as many Layla petals as I can. And whenever I have, say, like... I don't know. I turn them in whenever I get about 100. But my plan is to trade those in and get as many Radiant Fairies as I can. Okay? The idea is that I have just like 100 Radiants in the background, right? And this is going to be my free-to-play fairy hack. Because I don't want to buy a ton of orbs. I don't want to spend the cash on that. I'm not trying to go broke to get fairies. But there is a way. Another tower. We're having a good day today. So my theory is that if I take all of my Layla petals and gather it up and trade them in and get, like, say, somewhere around like 100 Radiant Fairies, right? Oh, that was awful. I didn't get anything out of that one. But gather all the fairies up, just open them all, trade everything that isn't a Radiant in for mythical feathers. That'll get me a little bit towards the tier 10 horse mats that I need, and then keep all the Radiants and stack them up. Make sure I have a bunch of silver stacked up too, because my method's gonna cost me quite a bit, probably. Maybe not a huge amount, but quite a bit. I have several Teo orbs stacked as well from events and stuff. Yeah, I have 6 here, and I think that there is. I could have swore I had somewhere around like 10. Maybe I missed some somewhere, or I didn't collect them. Can't remember. I'll find them if I have them. Maybe it was season stuff that I hadn't cashed in on yet. But I want to save my Teo orbs for number 2 spot on the ferry. The idea is to get rid of my current ferry whenever I have enough Radiant stacked up. Open them one at a time. So I'll open a new Radiant and buy as many Lemuria or whatever, just blue armor off the market as it takes. Level the sucker to 10 and just cross my fingers for Feathery Steps 5 or Miraculous Cheer 5, one or the other. And I keep doing this and resetting fairies, so if I don't, whenever it levels to level 10, if the fairy doesn't get Feathery Steps 5 or Miraculous Cheer 5, then I dump it and I move on to the next. And keep doing this. And you only level them to 10. And this method won't cost you anything, because eventually you will get either Miraculous Cheer 5 or Feathery Steps 5. Now once you get that, this way you don't have to re-roll at all. So you're leveling to 10 and then seeing what skill they get. If they don't get one of the ones you want, hey, another red shard, sweet. If it doesn't get one of the ones you want, you dump that. Dump it, and move on to the next. Hey, there's Layla's petal. Speaking of. Hey, another red shard. Woo, we're rolling in it now. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse. Where I live, it is crop season. So during the fall, all the big farmers take out all the row crop. I am severely allergic to soybean dust and corn dust, and the air is just filled with it as they're harvesting. It doesn't matter. There's so many taking the crops out. The air is just saturated. You don't even have to live on a farm or near. The whole county is just, it's bad. So I have terrible allergies. My throat hurts. My sinuses hurt. Everything hurts. So bear with me. I got a little hoarse voice going on. But usually just sounds like I swallowed a handful of gravel, even more than normal. But anyway, so you just keep re-rolling your fairy from level 1 to 10, leveling it up to 10, and whenever you hit mystical, hopefully you don't run out of the radiant fairy things by then. But when you hit feathery steps or miraculous cheer 5, then you stop. So once you get one of those, you level the thing up to 20 and see what the second skill is. Best case scenario, you get super lucky and you end up with both of those skills. If you don't, when it hits 20, that's when you start re-rolling with whatever Teo orbs you have. You want to buy some, great. If you don't, then just use the free ones. That's what I'm going to do. It'll cost you 2 per roll. But this method saves you so many orbs. Because the other method is you level it to 10 and you just keep using one orb and re-rolling until you get one. But if you do it this way, you can cheese it and not cost any orbs by just burning fairies and re-rolling every time you don't get the skill. You just use a new fairy and level it up to 10 instead of burning an orb. But that's what I'm going to do, and I'll keep going until I get Feathery 5 or Miraculous Cheer 5, and then when I hit level 20 with it, it will stay at 20 until I get the other one. So I want both of them. And then the next skills that you get aren't as important because those are the 2 most important ones. I mean, to have a perfect fairy, you would want Continuous Care 5. And then probably the light, and then the last skill would be the fairy revive at 4, whatever that fairy revive, the resurrection skill, whatever that's called. But that one to me is not so important because I have so many of the blessing things, the Elion's blessings from events, that I don't really worry about when my character dies. I just use a tier. But my current fairy is not bad at all. It has the light. It has fairies tier 3. Ideally, I would want 4 here. It has feather steps 5. So the only thing that's really kind of is miraculous tier 3. I would prefer that to be 5. If miraculous tier 3 was actually 5 instead, I would keep this fairy. I wouldn't worry about fairies tier, and I wouldn't worry about the higher continuous care levels. Those 2 skills are just not that important to me. But the 2 that are important are the potion skill and the weight. We're getting parts for Explorer's Compass, but not the one that we need. I think I'm going to be down here for the rest of my BDO life. I don't foresee this compass piece dropping. This is going to be probably my brutal grind. I would say I am going to be cursed on this and have to sit here for thousands of hours. I do believe. course, this little spot here, there's no Vodkins or Eltons in this little place, but the problem that I run into with these is that I hit the mob cap for aggro, and then I can't damage the ones that I want to damage, so I just clear them out as I go. I'm also not fighting with as much AP as I normally would. I'm at 747, but this would be a little bit higher, like 7 or 8 higher, if I used my other artifact, the AP accuracy one, but I want the 400% experience. So I'm actually at 430 plus the 500, so I'm at 930% overall. I'm not going to run, oh, and the Simple Cron has 20% on it. If I can actually move, come on. So I get for looking at buffs while I'm in the middle of monsters. The Simple Cron actually has 20% on it, so I guess I'm technically at 950% over the total, over base. I could run XP stuff, but I'm not going to push XP down here in Hystria. It's just not a leveling spot. If I want to level, I'll go to trees, or I'll push my DP a little bit higher and just start grinding Gyphon out. Eventually we will hit 63, and then once I'm done with these grinds where I'm searching for treasure in these lower tier spots, I will start pushing for level 65. Should have done it a long time ago, but I'm getting to where fishing overnight is becoming less and less interesting to me. Like I said in the last video, the Pearl Abyss kind of ruined my fishing profits whenever they changed these. And yes, I realize after looking at it, after seeing a comment, that they are indeed coelacanths and not coelacanths. I have my little eyes decided to play tricks on me, and I thought that they had it spelled C-O-L-E instead of C-O-E-L. So I looked like an idiot. But that's okay. Mistake corrected. I'll call them coelacanths for now on, like they're supposed to be. But not being able to trade them for time filled means that I'm not getting the stacks like I normally would. So I'm basically just making silver off of those. So it would be more profitable for me to probably do other things. I want to get back into horse training. I want to push for tier 10 horses, and possibly also do statue training overnight, like dummy training, to push my levels higher, just to gain those little bit of like extra stats. There isn't huge stats, but it makes a little bit of a difference, you know. I think I mentioned this before, but I've got a little thing going on with the guy in my guild. He said that I'll have plenty of Vodkin pieces by the time I get the Elton piece, and I told him with how my luck is, I'm going to end up getting the Elton piece before I see a Vodkin piece, and I'm going to be left down here grinding out Vodkin pieces instead of the Elton piece. Which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I got a little thing going on. I bet I get the Elton piece before I get the Vodkin piece. Just with how my character luck has been. Also, question for anybody that knows. Do you think the drop rate down here matters? I know it matters for like trash loot, but whenever something has so low of drop rate, like the compass pieces, does running full drop rate really matter? Or is it just at the point where you're like kind of chalking it up to how you do Black Star enhancing, sorry, and it's like, oh, it's 50-50, you either get it or you don't. It doesn't matter if it's 3% or 2. You just keep clicking until you get lucky, and you're just hoping that it's lucky. Is it the same for these compass pieces where the drop rate is so low that increasing your drop rate really doesn't matter? It's just a numbers game of where you just fight and fight and fight and kill as many monsters as quick as you can, and just hope for the RNG carry. We got another tower, so we'll have a little bit of a chance at maybe seeing one of these Elton pieces out of here. Probably not, but you know. Okay, get out of the wall. I can't hit you. There we go. No dice on the compass piece from that group. I am happy to get tons of sealed magic blackstones though, because, or black crystals, sorry. I'm all over the place today. Apparently I can't speak properly. I like the magical shards that they melt down into, so I'm gonna need them. Anyway, back to my my thought after asking about the drop rate. I want to branch out into other things, so I'm not just grinding and just black star enhancing. Trust me, I love to sit there and enhance and see if I can actually hit what I'm trying to get or not. But I also want to make forward progress, and I need to do some dreaded life skilling. I need to go do, like I said at the beginning of the video, some meat gathering, because I need tons of like red meat, wolf meat, lamb meat, whatever it may be. I have chosen to amass as much wolf meat as I can, just because it drops more at a time. But I want to get as much as I can of that so that I can get a bunch of Balanos meals, so that I don't have to worry about Imperial delivery anymore. Yeah, we're going back this way. That way I don't have to worry about Imperial delivery, and I can just put them all together. Now, I was doing professional boxes, and I still am, but I'm almost out of pickled vegetables for that. And the reason I was doing those is because I cooked that low-level recipe for Witch's Delicacies, just so I can get more contribution points. I was pushing for 450 contribution. I'm pretty close. Like overall, 432 out of 450. You know, I only need 18 more, but that's going to take like 50-60,000 Witch's Delicacies. So I got a lot of cooking left to do before I get there. So I'm going to need a ton of pickled vegetables for that, or vinegar, and you know, the following recipes out of that. So like vinegar and essence of liquor are very good for Witch's Delicacies, and then pickled vegetables. And I was using the essence of liquor for honey wine, and they're all low-level Imperial boxes, you know, like professional and skilled, and you don't make much silver off of those. And my money making was everything was rolling into Balanos meals, but I just haven't spent time cooking recently. I've been doing too much grinding and enhancing. So I wanted to get back into that and start pushing for that. But I've been waiting on my farms to build up hot peppers so that I could finish cooking another red shard. Isn't that like 4 this hour? But I've been saving up my hot peppers and making stuff with that, and then whenever I get enough of that, then I'll move on to the next sub recipe that I need for the Balanos meal. before I start crafting those. But one of the steps is doing the meat gathering and the daily farming so that I can get the hot peppers, because ordering them just doesn't work, and I don't want to cut into profits. I would rather just take a little bit longer to get that than cut into profits by buying the ingredients, because that stuff's all supplemental anyway. Most of my money doesn't come from that. It comes from like fishing and events, and then some grinding. Daily turn-ins are part of that, but I do a lot of trade crates whenever I have the materials for that, which I need to get back into that too. I haven't been doing much processing because I ran out of materials, so it's just, there's a lot of activities I want to get back into, but I've put them all aside for the grind, for the Black Star grind. And focusing too hard on one thing in Black Desert, you get burnt out, and I've kind of learned this the hard way. But I was tired of my wizard for the longest time, speaking of burnout, but I deleted and lost some quests completion for my 2 characters, but one of them was 53. I deleted the Ashton, or however you want to say that, and it was 53, and I wanted to get it to 60 for the family fame. Let me run to this spot real quick for the family fame. Now my family fame is well over 4,000, but I was stuck at like 3,000 something, so I deleted the hash. He was 53, and I remade him as season. I lost some overall quest progress because there was a couple of 100 quests that I had that I lost out on because of that. But I don't mind that. I'll get those back. I can always do story quests with them if I need them. I'm not pushing for 30,000 quests by any means, so I don't care. Okay, quit staggering me. I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. And I also did the same with my striker. I deleted the level 55 one. I think he was 55. Yeah, he was 55. And then I remade him. So now they're both level 60, and I got the extra family fame. But my point is, grinding on both of those, it made me wish that I was on my wizard so bad. Like, I really do like grinding as a caster more than I do the other ones. Like with the striker, I would just hold down W and alternate left mouse button, right mouse button. And, you know, that's fine and all. But it was just boring. The hash wasn't much better. Yeah, I had a couple of different skills. It was like shift right mouse button, left mouse button, down, which is S. The same. But I grinded polys. Wasn't really sure where the best spot to grind was for levels, and I was just getting them to 60 and dumping them anyway for the season pass and the rewards, because everything funnels into the wizard, you know. I just want wizard progress. Give me compass piece, please. I was hoping if I asked nicely that they would drop it. But I don't think they want to. Ooh, Layla's Petal. Oh, massive pure magic. So I really want to start like just grinding and streaming the grind, but my schedule's not allowing it. I'm too busy. I can't get longer than about an hour away. And so it's just one of those deals where not yet, but soon. Not yet, but soon. And video is better for streaming anyway, because every activity you got to do is it's a huge time sink. So it's very hard to get anything accomplished within 30 minutes to an hour and put it in a video without just cutting it up the hell out of it. And I don't like cutting them up. You know, editing would be fine, but I like to... The way I like to do my videos is most content creators, they will just cut out everything but the highlights, you know, or exciting stuff that'll happen. But the whole sense of an MMO is slow progress with the progress curve over time. You know, you want to keep moving up. So you want your curve to kind of look like a rainbow. Well, half of a rainbow, where, you know, you start out with little progress, you make a lot of progress, and then the curve kind of slowly just arcs upward. And then eventually, as you reach the end of, like, content in the game, it will kind of flatten, you know. But I like my videos to be the same, you know. I want to show all the little frustrations, all the little boring parts, everything that in between. I don't want to just cut them up and show highlights. I mean, I could very well do, but that's not me. That's not what I... That doesn't feel like the sense of an MMO. Yeah, it may be kind of boring sometimes, but how many times have you sat and grinded for 1,000 hours, or gathered for 1,000 hours, or ran freaking scrolls to gather up thousands and thousands of silver, or billions or trillions of silver in the case of Black Desert, or ran like hundreds and hundreds of raids on other games or dungeons to get that one item, to get that one achievement, you know. And it's like, yeah, I could cut it out, but and edit it all up and put some fast-paced, heart-racing music behind it. What the hell are you doing, wizard? Fast-paced, heart-racing music behind it and make it like a cinematic trailer. But then it's like video highlights trailer is basically all it becomes. It doesn't become a sense of a journey. It just becomes like, here's my highlights. You know, for all anybody knows, you could have somebody do all of the mundane tasks. You know, that's why the piloting crap is so popular among some people. It's like they pay somebody else to do all this stuff. Well, no, I want to do it myself. You know, I want to feel like I've actually played the game. You know, I don't want to just have highlights out there and be like, oh, look, guess what? Here's a highlight. I mean, that's what YouTube Shorts are for. You can cut those pieces out and turn them into a highlight or a short or whatever. Speaking of that, I need to do that. I've got several videos that I want to cut a short out of and put on there. And they're older ones, right? But I still want to do that. I just haven't found the time to do it. But I don't know, maybe people's mentality has changed, but I came into the MMORPG scene when it was at its peak. I got real heavy into them in between like 2006, 2007. You know, that era is whenever I kind of got into them, and then all the way until now. But you know, my peak MMORPG play times whenever I was going through college and stuff, it was the peak era, you know, anywhere from 2007 all the way up to 2013, 14, before things kind of started changing around. Like 2015, 2016, it just felt like games were changing. People's attention spans got shorter and shorter and shorter, and they just, instant gratification became a thing. If you don't get instant gratification, and people got frustrated, and it's like, oh, this puzzle's frustrating, I want to do this. And like Black Desert Story is kind of like that. It's like, oh, this is frustrating, it takes too long, R spam, R spam, R spam. And I find myself doing it too, but not to a certain extent. Like if I'm playing things that I'm not recording and I'm playing offline, I'll listen to the story for a while. Like Land of the Morning Light, I went through the first 5 or 6 sections there, like the first half of all the tales, and I was trying to keep up with the story, and it just got so bogged down, and it was just got to where I had to R spam just to get it done, because the story was boring. So some things are that way, but I come from that era of MMORPGs where, like, I see my character as an extension of myself. I want to feel connected to the character, and at least, like, that's why I don't like ults, you know? It's like that whole, there were several big names that came out with a couple of series, like, that I thought was really, really good. So there was, like, The Guild. That was a pretty good series, but that was, you know, that was a long time ago, back then. And they made a whole thing about the Avatar, and I still very, very much enjoy this series. You should check out The Guild. That's what it's called. Felicia Day wrote it and produced it, made it. But maybe I'm showing my age here, but that's alright, whatever. But it was very good. And then VGHS was another one that I thought, but there was a lot of things that came out, you know, back then, and it seemed like there was a bigger sense of, like, my character is part of me. Like, I want to see it progress. I don't want to just do a bunch of ults to get stuff done. That's why I hate the season grind. And I just get through it, and then I dump the character. It's like, I'm done. I'm probably never logging on this character again, other than to use it for Night Vendor energy dumps. But my wizard, it feels like, you know, it's like, okay, I care about my wizard. I want to actually have a sense of progression and do all the small things. So that's why I make my videos long form, and I can talk forever. I got plenty of stuff to talk about. I can just ramble. But I don't know, games have definitely changed, and I think that feeling maybe not so much for the best. I think part of that was like the WoW era, when WoW was huge. I mean, it's still big, but it's not like it was, you know. People had a bigger sense of community, and I know that Black Desert is designed to be mostly a solo game. Like, there's still other people in the world. There's still PvP and stuff, and there's guilds, but not in the same sense. It's just different. But I think it would be, and here, as I'm thinking about things and talking, I'm kind of slowing down on my grind, but I think games would be better off if they kind of went backwards a little bit on some things. Oh, he staggered me before I got my skill off. But that is the way I view my character. I want it to feel like a extension of kind of like myself, and it's like, okay, I'm not into the whole roleplay thing, to where I'm gonna type, like, pretend I'm a knight or a mage and speak in the old language, you know, in chat. I'm not into all of that, but I still think that showing all the little, like, the journey is where the enjoyment is. So if I have to go down into the bottom of a dungeon and sit down here for thousands of hours to get a little piece to craft a compass so that I can find my way. I mean, I know my way around the desert better than I do the ocean, but eventually, yes, I want to do ocean content and stuff, and I want the compass for that. So that's what I'm doing, and I want to show one of my videos to show that, you know. I haven't kept a running track of just how many hours I've been down here so far, but it's probably 25, 30. So I'm just getting started. Just starting. But maybe that's a little bit of insight into why I don't chop up my videos or heavily edit them. And it may, if I edited them, they may do better, you know, in the algorithm. But this is why I don't do it. It's because I want to show every little piece of everything. I sit down to watch a series on TV or, you know, Hulu, Netflix, whatever, or Prime, and I don't want to just see 10 minutes of highlights of like the main points of the show. I want to see the journey. I want to see character development. I want to see every little thing, you know. It's like, that's what makes a series good. That's what makes it, that's what you get lost in. So, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just another red shard. Man, we are rolling the red shards in. Let me finish my other thought first. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just why I do long form videos and why I don't edit heavily. Now, the red shards. I'm happy to get as many of those as possible because I'm going to need them when I start doing Debo grinding. I'm going to need tons of red shards from down here. And I'm going to have to go grind Hystria because I'm going to need a bunch of black shards from over there. But we almost made it through an hour. Probably all I'm going to do, I'm feeling pretty bad today. And I got some other things. Another red shard? Are you kidding me? Maybe I should just sit down here and grind. Holy. But can we trade some of these red shards for compass pieces, maybe? I heard something the other day in a video that Choice has like 4 compasses or something. And it's like, how the heck did you get that many? Did you just spend like 50,000 hours down here in this place? Or you're just that carried? It kind of frustrated me a little bit. Come on, cast the lightning, please. You know, it's funny to me too that I got 2 more things to talk about. This one thing, and then I want to touch on something else entirely unrelated to anything. Anyway, it's amazing to me that the last game that I played heavily, the last MMORPG that I sunk a ton of my time into, I approached very differently, and it was kind of a WoW clone. I've talked about it before, but things are very different. I spent most of my time on that game doing a variety of things, but the best gear you could get for the game, you had to grind out arena score, and it was 3v3. And I never got the best gear, but because I didn't pay enough money on that game to get high enough. Let's put it that way. But most of the progress, you know, it was like PvP to get the base gear, and then you did some dungeons in PvE and stuff to get like crystals to slot in and other things like that to give you other upgrades, not just the gear, but the gear you mostly got through PvP. And so of course you had PvE stuff too, right? But that game you didn't really have multiple builds. It was just got your one set and did that. So I spent most of my time doing like arena on a schedule, and had a set party that I went with and farmed stuff that way. And then yeah, I would do dungeons, and there was certain, I think it was set to where you could only do so many of some of the dungeons per like day or week or something. So you were kind of on a schedule for that too. So they were kind of timed or limited or whatever you want to call it. But it's just weird to me that now for progress in BDO, it's very different. I don't know when I changed, but now it's like all PvE oriented. I just don't do much PvP content, and just, you know, that kind of thing. It's just weird to me. It's just something that I was thinking about. It was kind of funny. Maybe there's no point there at all, man, but it was just an observation about myself that I thought was funny. It's just how we change over time, I think. But in Black Desert, there isn't really huge amounts of progress to be made by doing PvP. I guess you could go to Red Battlefield and get like 10 million or whatever it is per win. I guess if you just did that all day long, you could farm some silver, but it's not like you could spend hours doing that and not hit near the silver numbers than you could if you just went and grinded for an hour in the highest end silver spots. Kill them all. Alright. 7 minutes left on my scroll. So, I want to talk about one other thing before I leave off. And some of you may care, some of you may not care at all. But it depends on if your content creator that you watch, if you care about them personally, or if you're interested personally, or if you just like, give me the BDO content and shut up. So if you're in that group, disregard. But those of you that care about like personal stuff or just me in general, I'm setting out on and I kind of mentioned this a little bit before, but it's to the point now I've neglected it long enough that I have to do something about it. So I'm setting out on a health journey, I guess you could, so to speak, you could say. I've kind of, with all the big major life events that have been going on, I've been kind of neglecting my health a little too much. And I'm back to where I have to do something. I need it. I'm feeling bad a lot. And I don't know how much that conveys over other than me saying, I feel like crap today, or it's just, I haven't been feeling well lately, you know. Other than me mentioning that, nobody really has much. I guess my wife can tell, and maybe my close family, but I've been feeling really bad lately. I don't know what's going on, but I have to try and do something for me. Did I disconnect? Uh-oh. What's going on here? Am I gonna get killed? Yep. I bet I come back to a death. I'm gonna be upset. It's not my internet, mind you. Please don't kick me out of Hystria, and please don't let me be dead.
It feels like something
Okay,
good
we're not dead.
is going to happen today.
We're not dead. Fantastic, we didn't die. Good news. Very good news, very good news. Alright, back to what I was saying. So, I've reached a point where I do have to do something about it. That's the wrong way. So, I am going on a journey. A self-healing journey, I guess you could say. Not leaving, it's just, I have to figure some stuff out. I've done, over the years, a lot of experiments on myself as far as health goes. Different workout routines, different things, and just diets, and just to see what I feel best on. And so I'm just gonna have to force myself to go back to a plan for being healthier. It's very easy to get caught up in food convenience and just bad food and substances like fast food. Obviously, fast food is bad for you, and my tent went away. But it's so convenient a lot of the times, and we lived inside of city limits for a while, which is kind of what started all the badness, because we had things readily available, and it's like, it's convenient. I don't feel like spending time making food. I don't feel like spending time taking care of myself. So I'm just going to spend a little extra and, you know, get a little bit of my time back. Well, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. If I could go back to when I was a teenager and start over, man, oh man, my life would be so different. Every time I went to go get something bad or put some kind of bad food in my mouth, I would slap myself if I could. And train myself early on. But I've figured out now that, you know, after 20-something years, I do have celiac disease, so it's very bad. But I've also decided I'm going to have to go dairy-free, so we're trying to cleanse here and just eat healthier. And it may be like, hey, stupid, you know, that's common knowledge. Just, you know, it's very easy. Don't put the bad stuff in your mouth and you won't have a problem, but, you know. Sugar is more addicting than cocaine, so, you know, the problem. I'm not morbidly obese by any means, but I'm a big dude. I carry weight very well in my frame, so I can pack on 50, 60 pounds of fat and not really notice it, just because of how my body makeup is. And I've done so much weightlifting in the past that my body's used to being bigger anyway, but once you stop, you start to shrink, and that muscle gets replaced with not muscle, bad fat. And so, you know, you a year, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road, and life events, 6, 7 bad life events later, you're like, what the hell happened to myself? How did I let myself get in this situation? And so it's time. It's time to make a change. So if I'm in a generally depressive state for the next like month, it's because my body's very unhappy with me and I'm waging war upon myself. But, you know, extreme times cause for extreme measures. So we're getting rid of dairy, which sucks because that means like pretty much everything has dairy in it, right? So it means I'm gonna have to source my own stuff from everywhere. And so I'm just reworking a lot of my diet. And people get hangry. Hangry is an actual real thing, man. You can get in pretty bad moods pretty quick if your diet is changing, or if you're used to having a huge amounts of like carbs and sugar and bad stuff, and then you're all of a sudden like, nah, you're done. You're done for. You're not getting that stuff anymore. We're enough's enough. And yeah, you get angry. You get in a bad mood real easy. So that's what's going on in the background. I'm generally in a good mood, just waging war on myself. So we'll see how it goes. And maybe my journey, maybe I can document some of it. Maybe my journey, and after the fact, maybe I'll release some stuff. Who knows? But maybe it'll inspire some other people to have similar journeys. Maybe some of my knowledge that I have worked very hard to obtain, maybe I can pass it on to other people. And a lot of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory and common knowledge, but, and again, if it was, we wouldn't have an obesity pandemic in the United States. Alright, I'm gonna run out of here and then we'll look at what we got. I'm pretty sure we got so many red shards this hour. I'll kill my way out. But if you found this stuff boring, I apologize. And if you probably didn't even watch it all the way to this point, maybe I should apologize at the beginning of the video for being boring. But this is stuff I got to do to progress through the game, and it's not necessarily stuff that I even want to do. But you got to take advantage of the drop events. You know, when it's 100% drop, you got to do it. So, but let's kill this guy, because why not? Cool. Running and running and running. Those guys can go away. I don't care about them. Get rid of this. Get out of here. See ya. Alright, so we ran Agris, we ran Gold Scroll, 288. We got 13.6k. Not bad at all. And I was kind of slow because I was talking the whole time. There's all the other stuff. We got a lot of scrolls. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We ended up with 6 red shards. That's pretty dang good. So, there you have it. There's the drops. And hopefully, moving forward, after I'm not so busy, I can stream all this stuff and then have a nice set video doing some other things that's not grinding. So I appreciate all of the support and all the watching. What is this? What are these guys doing? I don't want to know. But I appreciate all the new subs, all the views. Any of you guys that are new, welcome. You can see on my quest log on the side over there that I've got like, I've been doing boss splits, Black Shrine stuff, and I've been pushing my way through Ataraxian as well, because I want to get through the main quest lines. And then whenever I've done that, I want to make a video running Ataraxian. It'll probably be a long form video running through the whole dungeon. It's going to take forever. It's going to be a long drawn out video. But I want to learn the dungeon. I kind of understand the first one's mechanics a little bit. And so I am working my way through that. I want to make a video on it, and I want to get... Oops, I need to go this way. I want to get the rewards for doing that stuff, so... That is planned for the future, and I want to get to where I can do some tier 10 horse attempts in the future. I got a lot of stuff I want to do, but we're working there. MMOs are long, drawn-out journeys and very slow progress, and so right now we're just grinding when we can, and everything else, we'll hit it when we get to it. So, as always, have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Until next time.